welcome back. As you guys can see from the title, today we are going to be doing our swatch and comparison video on the new Alter Ego Dreamgaze palette. Look at this artwork. Isn't this beautiful? Just reminds me of a beautiful spring day at a lake, at a pond with the frogs and the ducks and the geese. I'm just so excited for spring, you guys. You have no idea. So today we're going to be talking about this palette. I'm very, very excited about it because I have some very exciting news when it comes to this palette. So if you're interested to see this beauty in action, stay tuned. All right, guys, so this is the new Alter Ego palette. As I've mentioned, this is a palette that is inspired by the Natasha Denona pastels, I believe. I do not own that one, so this is even more exciting for me because this is what the palette is looking like. You guys can see it is pastel in here. You have some of those cream to powder in here, as well as some shimmery metallic-iness. Beautiful, beautiful. But the best part about this is Alter Ego has brought back magnetic pans, you guys. This excites me. So they used to have magnetic pans and then they did away with them, and now by popular demand they have brought them back. So if you purchase this palette, you can rearrange these however your little heart desires, pull them out, put other ones in here. I love this concept. I love it. So I'm going to talk about this palette now that you guys know the secret behind this palette, obviously. Like I mentioned, this is inspired by the Natasha Denona pastel palette. As you guys know, they tend to dupe out higher end palettes for those of us that cannot afford them or don't want to pay that sticker price. I am one of them that specifically did not want to pay for a pastel palette that was too expensive, and this is perfect for me. This is $22. I have a coupon code. I thank everyone that has used it, will be using it, has considered using it. I appreciate you guys very much. I do this for you guys, and I love that you guys support me in that way. And even if you don't use it and you use somebody else's coupon code, I'm happy that you're supporting someone. Some percentage is better than nothing. So I will put my coupon code up on the screen, and it's always down in my description box if you're ever interested in purchasing anything from Alter Ego. So this is this palette. I'm so excited, you guys. So this one looks like it is arranged by tones. If you guys see right here, this is all like your berries and pinks over here. This is more of like your blue greens, and then in the center you're getting a mixture of colors in here. You're only getting one yellow and one orange in here, but you're getting a lot of beautiful shades throughout. I personally do not own the pastel shades, so I do not know how it would compare to that one, but I do have a pile of palettes that I do have in my collection that would be comparable to this palette if you do own it. So obviously these are all magnetic. You are getting 15 shades in here, from mattes to metallics to that creamy texture. Hopefully they'll be good in this palette. I'm very excited to test this out. Getting 15 grams of product in this palette. So now that I have shared with you guys everything you need to know about this palette, if I'm missing anything, it'll be annotated on the screen or in the description box. Let's go on to our swatches. Okay, you guys, so here are our swatches. As you guys know, every time I do a swatch video, I do not swatch hard. I don't press hard. I don't go back into it unless I absolutely have to in a shadow. I want to see how the product, how the shadow works. If I decide to do a light hand, will it show up? So this is how I swatch my products. I don't swatch them heavy-handed because I feel like that is not doing you guys a service, because most of us don't really pack on a lot of color on our lids. So this is what this one looks like. Out of all of these shades, there are going to be 4 different ones that are cream to powder. So you're going to have the pink one, the first one that I swatched over here. Then you're going to have this purple one, which is right over here. Then you're going to end up with this green one down here. And then the last one is this blue one right here, which is down here. So you're getting 4 cream to powder, and you can tell that most of them showed up. So it wasn't too bad. I was expecting it to be a little bit less, but again, I got to play around with these on my eyes to really get an idea about these. So these are the swatches for this palette. Okay, so just by swatching these real quick before I get into the comparisons, this white shade is like a shifty shade. It's a white shade that has like a pink gold undertone to it. So you're going to get this shade in here. That's the only one that I see that's a little bit shifty. This is a metallic, a metallic, a metallic, a metallic. And then you're getting some satins in here. 1, 2, this is a satin. Mattes, 1, 2, 3 mattes in here. And then the rest are your cream to powder. So you're getting a little bit of everything in here. You may not like the finish on some of these colors but this is more of a pastel, so I'm not expecting to have very deep shades in here. I'm not coming in here expecting to get a very smoky eye either. This is more of a pastel, light, airy kind of palette, so I'm not holding it against it that I'm not having a deep matte. This is your deep matte right here. This is your deepest matte right down here, so that's as deep as you're getting. If you want deeper than that, you're gonna have to use this shimmer right here, but it's meant to be more of a light, airy kind of palette. Every time I think of pastels, I don't think of deep, sultry shades. I think of light and airy and maybe a 2 shadow look with it. So the first palette I want to compare this to is the Violet Voss Sugar Crystals. Now, in my comparison videos, I will share with you guys some palettes that are either no longer discontinued or currently being discontinued, but I do it because not all of us are buying new palettes. Not all of us have the latest and greatest, and you may have an older palette that I may be sharing with you guys that you might want to pull out and might not want to buy this one because you have something different. So this is one of those palettes. When I thought of this palette, I thought of my Sugar Crystals. So this one, let me just cover this mirror up. There you go. This one's a lot brighter, as you guys can see. What I like about this one, it's more of a rainbow pastel than anything, but you're getting the same kind of concept where it's going down in color stories. You're getting your metallic-y and then your shifty glitter kind of topper, sheer type of shadow down here. Now looking at these, you can get the vibe. I'm not necessarily duping it shade by shade, color by color, undertone by undertone. If you have something like this and you wanted more of a pastel, I could see this being a complementary palette to this one. Sometimes I want a vibrant shade and sometimes I don't. But looking at these, maybe this shade and this shade look very similar, so we could try to swatch these. You guys can see the difference. See, this one's from Violet Voss and this one's from the Alter Ego. Alter Ego's obviously a lot more red and punchy, but they're the same kind of finish, not necessarily the same color. So if you're interested in something like that, anything else that I can point out? The purples, let me see, the purple. See, this is a deeper purple than this one, but you're understanding where I'm coming from. It's not exactly duping it shade by shade, but I'm getting the vibes from it. So if you have this one and wanted more of a pastel and expensive palette, maybe this one might be the one for you. Okay, palette number 2. This is the Tokyo palette by Nomad. This is currently in process of being discontinued. You can still get this palette for 50% off as I am filming this video. So if you were interested in this palette versus this one, I would run off and get this one real quick because it's about to get discontinued. But I also feel like it is very comparable to it, duping the vibes. This one has more glitter toppers on the bottom, and you are getting a little bit of a deeper shades over here that aren't necessarily same, but I can see some overlaps in here. Maybe this color right here, and then this shade right here in Bliss. You could see that those are basically exact dupe. This is Alter Ego, and then this is Nomad. That is basically a dupe. You can't tell which one's which. I can't tell in person, and I don't think you could tell in camera which one is which one. This is a matte yellow, so it's not necessarily the same as this one. This orange is a little bit too punchy for this. This is a brighter pink. This one's going to be more metallic, but we can try it. Give it a shot. You never know. This is Nomad. This is Alter Ego. Alter Ego is a little bit more punchy and more of a green than a blue, but you're seeing what I'm seeing, guys. You're seeing what I'm seeing. This purple right here, maybe, nope. Close, but no cigar. That's the Nomad one, and then this is the Alter Ego one. So you guys can see, you're getting the vibes, but you're not getting exactly the same. So if you liked this one, wanted a companion palette, wanted something more upgraded, maybe you could try this one. Or if your Tokyo one is getting older, you want to get rid of it because you've had it for a few years and you want to try this one, those are your options right there. But I can see the vibes going in here. It all depends on what finishes you like, what formulas you like, and what you're looking for in a pastel palette. Okay, up next is the Pastel Pup by Menagerie Cosmetics. So as you guys can see here, this is all matte pastel with one glittery, shimmery type of shadow. So again, only the mattes would be duped in here if you only wanted a matte palette, or you wanted these mattes, but you wanted some sort of soft shimmers to go with it. Maybe this might be the palette for you. So right off the bat, I don't see exact dupes in here, but I do see some sort of companion. This one's a little bit more blue. This has, maybe this one, maybe. Menagerie Cosmetics tends to be a lot more vibrant in their pigmentation. So as you guys can see, there is a big difference in that, but you might not like this kind of finish. It's too much, and you might like something softer. Let's build this one up to see if I can. So you can build it up. It's just a lot softer than the Menagerie Cosmetics one. But you're seeing what I'm seeing. It's like you got to find the middle ground, see what you like, see if there's something that makes you want to get this palette. Can you see yourself using this palette maybe with this one in companionship? Because this is an all matte palette. So every time I use this palette, I do have to pull something else out. So this might be the one for it. So, and you're getting here the black and the white, and these help as mixture. So then that'll help this palette out as well. Okay, so this is the Pastel Dreams by Give Me Glow. So this one is a lot more pigmented, a lot more punchy. And this one has its companion shimmer to go with it, metallic. So these are in your face kind of metallics. Like these are all up in, and maybe you might not like that. You might like something softer. When I look at both of these, I really do think of Easter. I think of Easter eggs. That's all that I keep thinking of as I'm looking at both of these. Here's, you're only getting 2 purples. Would you want more of a variation? You're getting softer pinks in here versus here, where they're either red based, a little bit more deeper fruit punchy kind. These purples, again, have a little bit of pink to them. You're only getting 1 orange, but here you're getting 2, and this peach is beautiful. These right here, mixed, these greens are very minty green versus these are a little bit more in depth. And these blues are very, very sky white based blues, and these have a little bit more depth in them. And obviously we have yet to find one that is giving me this kind of shadow in here where you can top it on anything basically. So there's nothing in here that's duping each other out, but I like for you guys to see it compared to each other like this. So you guys know this is a lot more pigmented, a lot more in your face, a lot more vibrant. It's like, whoa, you want pastels on your eyeballs, you're going to get pastels in your eyeballs. You want a softer, more approachable palette, this would be the one that I'd go for. Last but not least, I brought in the Ice Cream palette by Glamlight. Now, this is their pastel palette, but as you guys can clearly see, if you own this one, this is a lot more punchy, a lot more vibrant, a lot more like summery pastels versus soft, feminine, light, airy, not so much in your face kind of pastel. So you can see the difference in these two. Is this too much for you and you just can't use this one? And would you rather have something like this? Mix and match, add to it. See these, some of these I can tell, like for me personally, I can tell you like all of these are very in my face. So I have to use a very, very light hand. So these will come in handy to work with these kind of shimmers in here because I want the shimmers to stand out, not so much the mattes. So for me, this might be a nice duo to put together. They can work with each other. And here you are getting a white, but it's a white. It's not like this one. See the difference? You're not getting that same kind of difference, even though you could probably maybe put that one on top of that one and get a little bit of shiftiness to it. So they both are getting a white. You guys are seeing what I'm seeing, but you know, it all depends on your preference. I'm just showing you what I have in hand and what I would shop my stash for if I were interested in this, to see if my palettes that I'm sharing with you guys would quench my thirst and not have to go out and get this one if that's not what I want to do. Okay, you guys, so those are my comparison palettes over here. As you guys know, I've mentioned it many, many times, I don't own a lot of pastel palettes. For me, this is very different. You guys saw all of my pastels that I would compare it to, and it's truly a different kind of palette. This is a lot softer. This to me is less intimidating, basically less intimidating for me, where it's approachable, it's nice, it's soft, it's that what I want, but not too much in my face. A lot of these I don't reach for solely because they're way too pigmented and way too much that I have to really take my time to use them because they're just too much in my face. And sometimes I don't want that. My one day out in the sun changes my skin tone, that these white-based pastels would just look terrible on me. So I do have to be very extra careful. This one I feel more comfortable with. I can rearrange the shades. If I have other palettes with this same size, I can pop one in, pop another one out to make it a little bit more of my take on it. I love that they brought back the magnetic pans in here. I think most of us wanted that. Most of us were expecting that when it came to these palettes from Alter Ego, and they've heard our cries. And I'm very happy because now I can rearrange what I want as well to make it more fun for me. I love how they set this up though, because it just makes it where I really don't have to think about it and I can clearly see what I have in here. This is a beautiful palette. I have not played with it on my eyes. I am planning on doing a video for you guys where I am using it on my eyes, so we can really test out these cream to powder shades in here. As you guys know, they don't work for me, but I'm willing to give it a chance because swatching these here, they actually did show up and they were nice and soft and blended. Like I was able to swatch them without any problem. So I'm hoping that's how it is on my eyes, but we will see when we play with them on the eyes. This is my pastel pile. You guys saw my eyeshadow palette collection, and this is my pastel pile. I don't have a lot of pastels. So if I were a consumer who did not get this sent to me and I didn't have these, this would be something that I would invest in. One, because I can rearrange them, add what I want. Two, it's not breaking the bank. It genuinely is not breaking the bank, and Alter Ego has a great formula. That's all that I have for you guys. Let me know in the comment section, what palette in your collection do you see yourself comparing this Alter Ego palette to? Because I'd like to know, and it'll help out anybody that is watching this video. They can see in the comment section. They can see if they have those kind of palettes in their collection that I did not share because I just personally don't own them. And I'm not somebody who buys a lot of pastels because I'm just not into them as much. I know Juvia's Place has one. I'm pretty sure a lot of the other indie brands have a lot of the pastels. I'm just not into them. So that's all that I have for you guys. Any information on this palette will be down in the description box, my coupon code. Thank you ahead of time if you are using it. I really appreciate it. I will list all these down so then you know which palettes I used. That's all that I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. More videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, bye.